왔어요?
윤석열 대통령 지키려고요.
Will they try to arrest?
They
Yeah, again, second time.
probably, but
We just
it may
passed that
cause
place.
very serious bloodshed.
박정희 만세! 박정희 만세!
이 빨갱이 잡아내려고 왔는데
What's up, guys? Today, Hannam-dong, the luxurious heart of Seoul, home to many diplomats, celebrities, high-profile people, and also, these days, it's a battleground of political unrest. So what happens when a president's home in Hannam-dong has become the epicenter of a nation's divide? If you watch the news in Korea these days, all you see are rallies near and around his residence. So let's go to Hannam-dong and see what's going on. Join me. South Korea is experiencing a historic moment, from the declaration of martial law to the dramatic first attempt to arrest the president. Many of you have asked me about the situation, and while I don't express any political affiliation, I felt it was important to show the reality on the ground. Why I'm filming in Hannam at this moment is because I am certain this will go into Korea's history books and will be remembered as an important event for Hannam-dong. But before we dive into the demonstrations, you need to understand what kind of neighborhood President Yoon lives in. Let's explore Hannam-dong and the events unfolding around it. Hey guys, I'm here with Peter. He's going to be our guide for today in Hannam-dong.
Hannam-dong. There is a lot going on. Hannam-dong is changing, completely changing. I expect we'll see a lot of the old and a lot of the new in our adventure here.
What kind of neighborhood is Hannam-dong?
If you didn't know anything about Hannam-dong and came here, you would not guess how exclusive it is, I think. You can walk by places and not realize how much money there is in the people who live there, how much money they have.
So Hannam-dong and foreigners, that is something that goes hand in hand.
Definitely, definitely. And that goes back to the 1950s at least. On the way, we'll start passing the embassies. Hannam-dong, as we say, is connected with foreigners, and that means embassies sometimes. You know, there's always more to a story than you think, but what I have heard, or what I know, is President Syngman Rhee in the 1950s had these foreign technical assistants coming in to Korea to help rebuild the country, and he designated this area that, if the camera looks there, we can't see anything from here, but that direction is where the UN village was, so-called. They just named it UN village in honor of the Korean War, and so that's where foreigners lived in the 1950s, 60s, maybe beyond.
Hannam is home to 3 renowned residential blocks. There's the so-called UN village, the luxurious Hannam the Hill, and the highly exclusive 9-1.
K-pop stars live in all of them, they say.
And here it is.
The entrance. What do you think? Is it as special as you imagined?
No, not at all.
It shows its age, but
Not at all.
don't be deceived. There's a lot of money in here. It's true what you say, it feels old, and I'll tell you why. It's because it is old. The image of this name, and there's another one. Honey one, UN Honey one.
UN Honey one.
If you put the letters U and N next to your name, you will succeed in this area.
You become a primary brand. The president,
Yes.
it was, I believe, in 2022, he decided to move from the Blue House into his new residence here in Hannam-dong.
That's right.
How much did that change the neighborhood?
It changed it a lot. Maybe it didn't change a lot in terms of the way businesses are operating or something, but it changed the feel in an important way, which is, as you could probably guess, the streets are now full of security all the time, and they're watching everyone who's walking by all the time. It's very strange.
Yeah.
That's more up north, though, not here,
Uh-huh.
because the presidential residence is quite north of here. It's full of protesters or rally attendees.
Hannam-dong has a distinct international vibe, with embassies lining the streets and even a German school nearby. All close to Hannam the Hill. Fun fact, isn't this also where BTS members have lived or still live?
It's India.
India, and we have another one in front of us, which is also...
Uh-oh, they're both India. What's going on?
What's happening here? A standoff.
Let me translate. Egypt is...
It's also random. I wonder if there's a strategic placement of embassies. Like, okay, we put you next to Egypt. You got to make up that fight from 5 years ago. Parkverbot in German.
How often would you ever see that? Korean with German.
I came here also to see the rallies, and walking in Hannam-dong, you have no idea that there's something so tense, so political going on elsewhere in the neighborhood.
That's the main slogan they're
The
using.
main slogan.
Which is, in Korean, is this.
Save Korea, protect Yoon.
Do you recognize this design of something from US politics?
Yeah,
Not just the slogan
looks a bit
itself.
like the mega,
Yeah.
right?
It's not a coincidence. These guys are actually very excited that Trump will formally enter office again in a few days.
But who's to say that Trump's gonna support Yoon?
No one.
No one, right?
But they have a religious-like belief in him.
The neighborhood is split by Hannam-dong. To the east, you will find the wealthiest side with Hannam the Hill and Yuan Village, while the ultra-exclusive 9-1 stands out on the west. The west, though less affluent, is buzzing with trendy bars, restaurants and one of Hannam's older areas. But change is coming fast. This part of Hannam is being redeveloped into the Hannam New Town project. Most residents have already moved out, leaving behind an eerie ghost town.
If you're watching this video after the year 2030, come to this spot and you'll see nothing but, well, high-rise, green, artificial green space. Hannam-dong is this huge contrast between old and new. So you don't get it as dramatic as here very often. Imported beer. 4 for 10,000 won. I don't think the deal is still on.
No, the deal's been gone, long gone. This is called Oosta-dan-ro.
Yeah.
And everything on that side is Bogendong, video already made. And everything on the left side is Hannam-dong. And then the Seoul Central Mosque, which is behind us. Venture a bit further and the vibe shifts again. Some might call this Itaewon, but geographically it's still Hannam-dong. It's here where the younger crowd gathers to enjoy trendy cafes and bars. Hannam is truly a neighborhood of striking contrasts, where wealth and vibrancy coexist side by side. We found 9-1 behind us.
That's it. Well, if you read the Hangul version, it says na, in, won, right? I would like to think that someone had the idea of making a pun. Na is I, me, in, like living in, one.
And one.
Whatever one might mean. Only people with extremely large amounts of money could live there. This whole site of this luxury apartments was once this old development for the US military called Hannam Village. You ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Cast your mind back 100 years. What you would see here is Japanese military officers managing horses. This is for their cavalry. And their stables for horses and all that kind of thing. This complex certainly symbolizes the change in Hannam-dong and Itaewon. Well, you know what? From what I've seen of these protests, these people are definitely enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
It's a what I would call a concert-like or festival-like atmosphere. It's 24-hour, so people come and go. It's not like a 1-hour thing and go home.
Look how they fence off this person.
Someone is very well protected.
박정희, 김정은 도대체 다른 게 뭐냐고.
These are anti-Yoon. She's obviously pro-Yoon.
Balba. Step on Yoon Sung-yeol. Step like...
It does feel quite tense.
Even now, just a handful of people too. Wait till you see thousands. And they have the sound limit guidelines in theory. Okay, I can tell you another thing about Hannam-dong. This road, Hannam-dero, from what I know, at one time was part of the U.S. military so-called MSR-1. MSR-1 is called Main Supply Route 1. During the case of a war or...
For tanks and heavy hardware.
The most secure place to protect, to move supplies, equipment, things like that. And it went up there, past towards the Itaewon main road, and then through the Yongsan base, and then proceeded up towards North Korea.
The further north we go, the more action unfolds. Both pro and anti-Yoon groups walking the same sidewalk. It's also oddly amusing to see the English slogan "Stop the Steal" translated into Korean here.
Younger people think he's opposite side President Yoon. The older people, 60 years or 70 years old, older men, they're thinking he's just President Yoon side.
But when the martial law happened, what did you feel?
It's terrible, sir. Mr. Yoon is just thinking it's so bad.
Many of the demonstrators, they're showing their sign to cars driving by.
Yeah.
Some of the cars open a window and they cheer, and others they're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
You can tell how divided they are. A lot of anti-China slogans coming in.
China out, CCP out. So far, it's been mostly pro-Yoon rallies, even here in front of the Myanmar embassy. Then, unexpectedly, we found ourselves at the end of a road that's usually secured. So this is weird. We just walk up a street where usually they won't allow you in, because you got really close to the residence. It felt strange to be able to walk right up to the gate, but as confused as we were, we did. 여기 뭐인지 아세요?
우원식 국회의장.
Head of the National Assembly. He doesn't like him. He's a communist.
빨갱이.
근데
빨갱이?
빨갱이 오케이.
대통령 관저가 어느 쪽이에요?
대통령 관저는 여기가 아니고 저쪽에서 올라간다. 이 빨갱이 잡아내려고 왔는데
He wants to arrest the communist leader of the National Assembly.
내가 혼자 힘으로는 안 되겠네. 같이 해줄까? 같이.
외국인 안 돼요.
우리나라가 이 큰일이야. 빨갱이들이 지금 다 잡고 있어서 큰일이야. 보통 일 아니야 이거. 트럼프가 취임해가지고 부정선거하고 세계 그 중국과 북한에 미국 트럼프 할 때도 부정선거 했지. 우리나라도 부정선거 했지. 해가 트럼프 합작해가지고 다 잡아들여야 돼.
We really need USA customer help my prisoner. My prisoner, please help me. And he's a very right person.
What a shocking sight for school children to see every day.
They are protected in their entrance, though, as you see,
are,
at least something. Imagine actually being in school during these.
And you have to hear this noise every single day. It's funny, you were right. If you say you're from America, they become, like they see you as an ally.
Yeah, I've seen it repeatedly. That they would treat me neutrally at first, but then I say I'm from America, which is true, and then they show much affection. It's not because they love America as a country, but they love the alliance, and politically they're saying this for their own reason.
But Hannam has also two famous churches, right?
For foreigners, yes.
Yeah.
Another legacy of the foreign influence of Hannam-dong in the 1960s. This international Catholic church on the south side and international Lutheran church on the north side. During the height of the rallies, the pro-president rally was centered on International Lutheran Church. Amazingly enough, that was their meeting point. Not the church didn't want them to be involved, but that was their let's all meet there point. And the rally spread from there. It was a convenient meeting place. The anti-president rally centered on International Catholic Church for a while. Unbelievable. That what a coincidence.
Peter's connection to Hannam-dong isn't from living there, but through the International Lutheran Church, or ILC. In 2021, he joined a research project for ILC's 60th anniversary, exploring its origins as a Christian center for US soldiers in 1962, a product of Hannam-dong's development as a foreign enclave since the post-1953 era. Today, ILC sits at the heart of a pro-Yoon rally, symbolizing the many generations of Hannam-dong since 1945. We're now walking past the road leading to the president's residence, blocked off by a bus. This is the spot where they tried to arrest him.
Up there you see a lot of young people.
It really is a festival atmosphere.
It is.
Depending on the time of day. I wonder why they're protected by this gate. This is wild. You have protests sprinkled among each other. This is anti-Yoon, and that guy's pro-Yoon.
There's literally an anti-Yoon demonstration rally going on right next to the pro-Yoon, right next to the anti-Yoon, right next to the pro-Yoon.
Confrontations going on constantly.
Yeah, there's confrontations everywhere.
The crowd is growing thicker and busier. Up north, the biggest rally happening is led by pro-Yoon supporters. Whether they come later or not, the pro-Yoon demonstration has visibly fewer younger people.
Here we go. This is the heart of the continuous pro-president rally right now.
24/7.
24/7 since New Year's Eve.
Pro-Yoon.
12, 13 days in a row now.
예뻐, 멋져.
이거 티셔츠 보여주세요. 박근혜, 박정희, 김영미.
Can you show your cap? 위헌적 탄핵 반대.
오늘 왜 여기 왔어요?
윤석열 대통령 지키려고요. 이재명 구속.
미국.
아, US.
Yeah.
미국 굿.
Good. But what about you? Where are you from?
네덜란드.
네덜란드.
Ah, yeah, Netherlands.
That's okay.
You know what this song is?
The mega song. YMCA.
YMCA is Trump's favorite song. They say.
Yeah.
They think. This crowd thinks. Why are they playing it? To get his attention.
Got his attention.
That's
right?
why. That's a festival. One of the ralliers, I asked him, and he said they'll continue every day, 24-hour, until at least Solal, Lunar New Year, because that's when the second arrest warrant expires, he said.
I see.
He's giving alternate lyrics, inviting people to bash communists. Bengman Sadan, he was in the famous White Horse Division. 윤 대통령 지지하세요?
윤 대통령 최고.
그럼 트럼프에 대해 어떻게 생각하세요?
오케이, 트럼프
Number one? Number two? You number one.
V 이기자.
V?
트럼프 이기자. 이재명 나쁜 놈. 빨갱이 이재명 죽여야 돼.
He's not a fan of Lee Jae-myung. I don't think anyone here is.
Everyone is.
They are evil. They are evil and they are lying.
Who are they?
Our opposition parties.
Corrupted lawmakers impeached our lawful president. They are destroying our country. They impeached high-ranking officials, 30 people now. They paralyzed our government functions. That's why Mr. Yoon, President Mr. Yoon declared martial law.
What do you think about the election? You believe that there was fraud?
Fraud. Biden behind maybe another criminals.
China, North Korea, or someone else?
I'm not sure. But same as Trump, Donald Trump.
동 탐사?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
me.
watch your
Wow.
YouTube a lot of time.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Yeju,
Yeju.
and I'm a student in a foreign language high school. You could see two parts of Korean political parties in this road.
Right.
So there are some conservative person in this place, and if you go a little bit down, and you could see the right, left supporters.
Right.
So I'm here to support President today.
Well, what's the reason you like him?
As you guys know, Korea is a democracy country. So this country is now fighting with North Korea, with the communists. But nowadays, Lee Jae-myung, the left side, they're trying to help the CCP and the North Korea, and they're trying to make our freedom and democracy stolen by the communists. So we are here to protect our president and our democracy and our constitution. So we are trying to make sure that Korea stay as a freedom country and democracy country. Until now, Korea's economy have grown miraculously. So there's no country such like this in entire world. And I believe that it is because of the power of freedom and democracy. Korea has three parts of constitution. There's a president, and there's a national assembly, and there's a 법원, the law.
Courts.
Yes, courts. But these three key is a very important part of the democracy. These three things has to work well to protect the democracy. But now these days, the left party, they are just interrupting and they're destroying all these parts of democracy.
I almost forgot I came here to get a feel for Hannam-dong. I have to agree with Peter. Walking around as an outsider, you wouldn't immediately notice the wealth just from the surface. The contrasts here are still striking, and the president's residence adds an entirely new dimension to the neighborhood. You might wonder why I chose to film something so political. Usually I focus on stories years or even decades after they've unfolded, but this is happening now, so I took the opportunity. Unfortunately, I could feel the deep anger and emotions on both sides. The opposing camps seem to have completely different narratives about the reality of Korea. It's disheartening to see a country I now call home so deeply divided, and I truly hope it doesn't escalate further. Today, I shared everything chronologically, as it happened while walking through the protest strip in Hannam. I just wanted to show the reality right now. In a future video, I plan to visit Gwanghwamun as part of the Sejongro neighborhood video, where I hope to engage with more anti-Yoon protesters and hear their perspective.
Peter, thank you for showing us around.
It's good to be here.
Guys, stay safe. Haru.
What is the appeal?
Well, the location, of course. But secondly, the momentum of once one famous person starts coming in, others do. What's the attraction of Hannam? It's so quiet here, you could almost feel like you're in the countryside.